Here comes Brad.
This all over him, and Blaney has gone high, and that's opened up the door for Brad Keselowski to slip into second.
That's a great example of how on the edge these race cars are. Blaney just overdrove the entry by maybe 3 feet, and the second he did it, the back of the car didn't have grip. These cars are very difficult to drive.
Look, each weekend, Steve and I get spoiled by Jeff, where he takes us for early morning rides in the pace car. And the difference between that newly resurfaced, which is now more than a year old, by the way, those large patches you see at either end of the track. Steve, you were the first to comment on it. When you go off that recently resurfaced onto the older asphalt, it's crazy the difference.
It's unbelievable the difference, and I'm shocked at the difference how it appears a year later. You know, it's just so difficult to point out what it used to look like. You see the 3 and the 9 on the bottom side by side. Last year when they repaved the corners, they were basically pitch black, and it was obvious. Now the whole place is bleached so much, it's hard to understand, but those sections in the corner are much smoother.
Boy, that fight that you just saw a glimpse of, Austin Dillon and Chase Elliott, and by the way, Christopher Bell is in this mix as well. There it is, bottom box. This has been going on for probably 30 laps, Dillon and Elliott, and it's kind of shades of the opening stage between William Byron and Brad Keselowski. Just working, looking, different options, different lines, looking for a way by. Let's talk more about Elliott, the Napa machine. Is Dave Burns.
Lee, that battle for 8th has been fun to watch as you now see Bell coming up behind the 2 of them. They were told, the 9 driver was told about 5 laps ago that you and the 3 were the fastest on that lap. So they don't want to give it up. They know their cars are very good. Chase on his part was a little bit confused about what he thought about his car early in that first stage. He said, I was off a little bit on what I thought. I really liked it by the end. So very few changes to the 9. Still not running up front, but trying to hold off right now the 3 and the 20 for 8th.
Tight at the front. Keselowski has caught Briscoe, and now he's like, hey, I did this in the first stage, let's do it again in the second.
He would rather not have to. You know, he's trying to make up for a slower pit stop, and that's okay early, but you've seen how long this has taken, 67 laps to get up to even battle for the lead. It's clear who has the best car for me so far, and that's the 6 of Brad Keselowski.
And surprisingly, his teammate is the next car to potentially go a lap down. Ryan Preece in the 60.
Yeah, they're kind of split all over because Buschard's only running 28, so the boss has got the raw speed out of the 3 RFK cars. It is for sure tipped heavily to the 6.
Preece has had a good year. Not a good race so far, but they tend to get better as the race goes on. See Brad Keselowski got tight in the middle of the corner. Here he goes again. This is what he did at the end of stage 1. Got up the racetrack, but he didn't have pressure from behind. He could try something if it didn't work, no big deal. But now he has pressure from Blaney. If he tries something and it doesn't work, Blaney can take that spot.
It's the teammates' bottom box. Kyle Larson on the inside of William Byron for 4th.
You saw the 24 of William Byron, the back of the car wiggling, getting into the corner. Continuing to talk about brake issues.
Blew a tire. On pit road.
If you cannot lean on the brakes and trust what the car is going to do, it is going to affect corner entry the most, and the most difficult part of this racetrack is corner entry.
23 of Bubba Wallace on pit road nearing the middle of the stage. As I talked about, if you're going to pit for sure at the end of stage 2, you would break this up in the middle. That seems to be what the 23 is going to do. The 10 of Ty Dillon is also on pit road party.
Carl tonight told me we're going to take some risky strategy moves at some point in the next 4 races. So this one, from more on the conservative side, towards the stage 2 now, kind of waiting on the left side there. Never taking the car way too free. I think it begs the question here, splitting this.
With the cycle, let's see, loose on entry would be my guess.
Yes, sir.
Over and over. This weekend that's been the trouble spot. Just a few laps before, Denny Hamlin almost did it.
This is just, you heard Marty talking about it's rare that you see this big wave of pit stops, but the tire and the lack of tire fall off, the length of the track really opened up this opportunity to run long. William Byron will get the free pass, and then a whole bunch of cars will take a wave around, but remember, it's going to be lead lap cars, then lap down cars, then the free pass car, and then the wave round cars. So while you may get your lap back, you're